Hello, we're here with Kimberly in our kitchen, and she's going to tell us about and show us how to make our homemade yogurt that we use regularly. So
this is some raw cow milk that we've been getting from the Dungeness Valley Creamery, and so this is extremely beneficial because it's a live food, and it's great to get as many live foods into your diet as you can. And yogurt is extremely simple to make, which is why I wanted to make this video, just to show everybody how easy it is. So I'm going to make 2 quarts of yogurt. So I'm going to fill this up.
This is a 2-quart mason jar that we got at our local farm store. Sometimes hardware stores and you know, specialty stores that might carry canning supplies will have the 2-quart ones. But you can use, of course, a 1-quart jar too. Can you also use store-bought supermarket milk, like organic milk and all?
You definitely can, and it works just as well.
Okay.
So we are gonna pour this milk now into our large pot. Oh yes. And then I'm gonna turn on the heat just to medium heat, so it warms up very slowly, because as you know, milk can burn to the bottom of a pot, so you want to heat it slowly, and we're going to heat it to 180 degrees. So for a while there's not going to be much action. We're just going to let this milk heat up, and I'm going to stir it occasionally to keep it from sticking to the bottom of the pot.
And as you're heating it up, do you have a thermometer or something? How are you going to know?
I do have a thermometer, and that's what I use. I haven't gotten it out yet because it's going to be a while.
But they can get a thermometer, it's a dairy thermometer, and you can get this where?
Do you know where we got this from? I don't know.
Well, if your local store doesn't have it, I believe I got it at cheesemaking.com, which is a necessary tool if you're going to make some simple home cheeses too. We got this a while ago. Let's see here. And I can't remember just offhand some differences, but I guess it's just how the temperatures, it goes up to 200 degrees, and so you're saying you're going up to 180 here, which is usually on the higher end, of course, of what you're going to use with dairy. So it's a thermometer that you can keep in your kitchen and wash and just use for dairy jobs. And I did get that at cheesemaking.com, but I guess you could Google dairy thermometer too. If they don't have them, or if they're no longer in business, I don't know.
And also, the book that I got this recipe from says that you don't even really need to use a thermometer. You just want to bring it to the point just before it boils. So you don't want to actually boil it.
Right.
And we'll show you a picture of that when we get close.
Right, and we'll get into the yogurt culture and all that in the next bit.
Right.
Okay, so, and right now we're just, well, as they say, it takes, what do they say about watching milk boil? Red's watching water boil. Alright, so we'll see you in a minute. Alright, so what are we doing now?
Well,
how long has it been?
Is looking like it's getting bubbly. And yeah, how long has it been? Well, I fed the kids lunch and we ate. Now we're back.
You ate? Did you make me anything?
I thought you wouldn't be hungry yet because you had such a late breakfast.
Shh.
So I was checking the temperature, and I'm sort of stir it while I check it to make sure it's even, and it's getting almost 180. So I wanted to show you what the milk looks like, how it's almost bubbling.
Yeah, it's just about there. It's about at 175, and like we're looking at here. The 08 that you're seeing on your screen is a backwards 80. So it looks like it's just about there, a couple degrees away. Now let's look at the bubbling milk again.
Alright.
Okay, great.
So it doesn't have to be exact. And I'm just going to go ahead and take it off of the heat.
So you're taking it off the heat somewhere around 180. Okay.
And now we're just, the next step is to let it cool to 120. So we're going to take another
Wait, why don't we just heat it to 120?
You know, I was wondering about that as I started to make the video, and I don't know the answer, but I got the recipe out of this book, which...
Gonna get a shot. Wild fermentation Flavor, Nutrition, and Craft of Live Culture Food by Sander Elix Katz, K-A-T-Z. Okay.
Which every time I start to learn about fermented foods, this book seems to be cited, so it's kind of like the Bible of fermented foods, I guess. So I trust the recipe, and I don't really know exactly why. I've heard other people say just heat it to 110, or, you know, this recipe says go down to 120.
Maybe it has something to do with bacteria.
Could be.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway.
That's what she says to do, or he says to do, so that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Alright. So then what's the next step? What do we want to wait? We're just waiting till it gets to 120?
Yes.
Okay. So that would bore you if I just sat here and held the video camera. So I'm gonna hit cut.
Alright. Oh.
Okay, now it's good.
Okay, so I checked the temperature and we're down to 120 degrees, and when it was about 140 I put on some just plain water to boil in order to heat up our jars. So you don't want to pour the warm yogurt into a cold jar, so I just put a little bit of boiling water into the jar, or boiled water, it doesn't have to be that hot. And then I just kind of pour to the other jar. So this heats up the jars. And then I pour it into the cooler.
Oh, so why a cooler?
Well, this is how we're going to make the yogurt, and I'll be showing you this. So we're going to heat up the cooler as well, so it's not actually a cooler, it's more of a heater. Coolers can go either way, depending on what use you have for them.
We're just using a little basic cooler. Small one here, small type.
Let me just pour that out, so just to warm it up a little bit. And then I'm going to put one towel in the bottom. So we're going to keep our yogurt really warm, wrapped in towels while it's becoming yogurt.
And why are we doing this?
Because we're going to put the jars into the cooler in a moment. So now I'm going to take our 120 degree milk and pour it into 2-quart
mason jars.
Mason jars.
Right to the lip there. Very good. So you can see there how high. Just up to the end there.
Yeah, you don't really need any extra room at the top or anything.
Okay, you don't need extra room.
So then what we need to do is add our yogurt culture. So I keep mine in the refrigerator. Sorry.
Okay, you need to talk about this a bit, about this culture.
Right. So this is the culture that makes the yogurt, and a friend actually gave this to me, and the place where she gets it is a website called danlac.com. DANLAC.com, and these are little granules in here that I'm touching. They're like powder. It's kind of hard to tell dimensionally on video. But you have this little... I'm picking just kind of... My friend told me a piece about half the size of a lentil for this
A piece
quart.
of this culture. Now this culture, we're going to find out exactly which one we get on Danlac, and we're going to print it across the bottom of the screen here for you. So you'll be able to go to that site and know exactly what we're using. Okay, so you got a little tiny bit of this yogurt culture.
And then we just drop that into our
Are
jar.
you half a lentil for each one?
Yes,